Today, we're doing something really interesting.
Yeah?
We've got this snapshot of a conversation. It's between two people, Aman and Sonia, just talking about their hopes, their big ideas for, say, the next 5 years.
Okay, like a fly on the wall kind of thing.
Exactly. You get to listen in on how they're approaching their ambitions. And our mission here really is to unpack that discussion,
Right.
to pull out some, key ideas about setting goals, dealing with the worries that pop up, and figuring out those first steps, all just by listening to them chat.
Sounds good. Where do we start?
Okay, so let's just get right into it.
Well, the first thing that, really jumps out is just that basic human thing, looking ahead, thinking about what's possible.
Mm-hmm.
And both Aman and Sonia are doing exactly that. They're painting these pictures of where they might be.
Yeah.
Sonia's dreaming of her own small business.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a cozy cafe, or she mentioned a boutique, something where she can create a nice, happy kind of space.
A welcoming vibe.
Exactly. And then Aman, he's more on the tech side, aiming to be a software developer,
Okay.
but also thinking longer term, maybe building an app, something that genuinely helps people.
It's interesting, isn't it, how even right at the start, with these broad ideas,
Yeah,
there's this common thread. Both want to create something positive, something impactful.
that's a great point. Sonia's happy space, Aman's helpful app.
It's not just about, I want this for me. There's this element of contribution, making a difference, even if it's on their own scale.
Absolutely. And what's really insightful, I think, is watching how those initial dreams start to get more, well, solid as they talk.
How so?
Well, Aman doesn't just stop at, I want to build an app. He starts focusing it.
Right.
Thinking about education specifically, something to help students maybe with organizing their work or even connecting them with tutors.
Oh, okay.
And he mentions it comes from his own experience, things he found tough as a student.
Ah, so it's personal for him.
Exactly. Which adds this layer of real motivation, makes it feel grounded, relatable, maybe something, listeners can connect with in their own goals.
Yeah, definitely. And Sonia, her vision for the cafe, she even has a name for it, Dream Haven.
Yeah, I loved that.
It's so vivid. She's thinking about the whole atmosphere, warm, artsy.
The bookshelves, local art.
Right. Even live music mentioned. These aren't just random details, are they?
Not at all. They paint a picture of a very specific kind of place.
And that level of detail, the name, the bookshelves, it does more than just sound nice. It kind of grabs your imagination, right?
It really does. Makes the goal feel more emotionally resonant. It probably activates the planning parts of the brain, too.
Makes it less abstract.
That specificity is just so powerful. When you have those concrete details, the dream shifts, doesn't it?
Yeah.
From just a wish.
To something almost tangible.
Yeah, something you can almost mentally walk into.
Mhm.
And that makes it way easier to start thinking about, okay, what are the practical steps here?
But, and this is Morton, they both admit it's also kind of scary.
Well, absolutely. That comes through loud and clear. These big ideas bring apprehension with them.
Yeah, Sonia's pretty open about being nervous. Starting a business. What if nobody comes?
Right. Or making mistakes with the menu, she mentioned. Totally understandable fears.
And Aman's got similar worries. Are his coding skills actually good enough?
Yeah.
What if the app just flops?
It's such a crucial reminder, isn't it? That even when you're excited about the future, those feelings of uncertainty and fear are just normal.
Part of the deal.
Totally. It makes them feel very human. I think lots of us can probably relate to that feeling when we think about our own big goals.
It does. And what's really useful, I think, is how they start brainstorming ways to handle that feeling of being overwhelmed.
Okay, yeah. What strategies come up?
Well, Sonia suggests taking smaller steps first, maybe starting with a market stall.
Okay. Like a trial run.
Exactly. Test the concept, get some experience, build confidence without the huge commitment of a full cafe right away. That makes a lot of sense. It lines up with that whole idea of breaking big, scary tasks into smaller bits.
Precisely. Little less intimidating actions.
And a man seems to be thinking along similar lines.
Yeah, he is. Instead of, trying to build the whole app at once.
Which would be massive.
Right. He's thinking about starting by learning more, deepening his understanding of app design first.
How? Like online courses?
Maybe online courses, or he mentioned joining coding groups. Again, it's about dissecting that huge end goal.
Into manageable first steps.
Yeah. It turns something that feels impossible into something you can actually start working on. like now.
It really highlights that power of micro steps, doesn't it? Those tiny actions that get the ball rolling and ease the anxiety.
Definitely. Big goals can feel paralyzing otherwise,
Uh-huh.
but finding that first relatively easy thing to do, it generates momentum.
Builds confidence for the next step.
Exactly. And from that point, their conversation kind of naturally moves towards, okay, what skills do we actually need to make this happen?
Right, the practicalities. What do they identify?
Well, Sonia realizes that, okay, she might be great with food, but she needs to learn about the business side.
Like management, budgeting.
Yeah, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And maybe even getting advice from people who've already done it, run successful cafes.
Smart. And Amon.
For him, it's pretty clear. He needs to boost his app design skills. That's the priority.
So they're both being quite proactive, spotting the gaps in their knowledge.
And thinking about how to fill them. It's a really positive mindset.
Yeah.
And what's interesting there is Amon's perspective on the learning itself.
What about it?
He sort of frames learning to code like solving puzzles.
Oh, okay.
Something that can be, fun and stimulating in itself, even when it's challenging.
So it reframes the work bit. It's not just a hurdle, it's an engaging activity.
Exactly. Not just an obstacle, but something potentially enjoyable.
And you could kind of imagine Sonia finding similar enjoyment, maybe, experimenting with recipes for her cafe.
Totally. Playing with flavors, maybe perfecting that spicy chocolate cake she mentioned.
Ah, yes, the cake. It brings back some of that initial fun, doesn't it? Into what could otherwise feel like just hard graft.
Definitely. Which leads us nicely into those more sort of concrete elements they discussed.
Like the spicy chocolate cake?
Precisely. Sonia's saying that will definitely be on the menu.
Huh.
Maybe with that interesting spicy twist.
Yeah.
It makes the cafe feel more real, more distinctive.
Gives it personality.
Uh-huh. And Amon's core app idea, the personalized study tips.
Yeah, tailored to learning styles.
Right, like suggesting videos for visual learners.
Yeah.
That's a really practical, thoughtful feature. It shows he's really thinking about the user.
These details really do bring the dreams to life, don't they?
They absolutely do.
You can almost taste that cake or picture how Amon's app could actually help a student. It goes beyond just wanting something.
They're actually picturing its form and function, how it works in the real world.
Yeah.
And then finally, one of the really compelling bits of their chat is that sense of mutual encouragement and accountability.
How does that come across?
Well, they just seem to get energy from talking about it with each other.
Yeah. Amon actually says something like, it's cool how we both have big dreams, right? Makes me feel motivated.
Exactly. And Sonia says hearing his plans makes her want to get started on hers too.
That shared enthusiasm, it can be really infectious, really powerful.
Hugely. And then they agree to check in with each other in a year.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Yeah. To talk about their progress. It's like proactively building in that accountability.
Knowing someone else is kind of invested and you've made that little pact.
It can be a massive motivator. Turns these individual dreams into something, well, shared, even just between the two of them.
It's like having a progress buddy. That idea of sharing goals and accountability, it makes so much sense.
It really does. Social psychology actually backs that up quite strongly. External support often increases the chances of actually achieving your goals.
Okay, so as we sort of wrap up this deep dive into Amon and Sonia's conversation, what are the main takeaways for listeners?
Well, it seems pretty clear, right? First, having specific, maybe even vivid dreams really helps give you direction.
Makes it real.
Second, acknowledging those fears, the nervousness.
Yeah.
It's normal. Don't let it paralyze you.
Right, it's part of the process.
Third, breaking down those huge goals into smaller, manageable steps. Absolutely key for actually making progress.
Don't try to eat the whole elephant at once.
Exactly. Fourth, figure out what skills you need and then actively go learn them. Be proactive.
Identify the gaps and fill them.
And finally, there's real power in sharing your plans with someone. Getting that encouragement, building in some accountability.
Even just with one friend.
Yeah. So this kind of leads to a final thought, maybe a question for everyone listening.
Okay.
Just take a moment now. Reflect on your own future goals, your aspirations. What's one small thing, one concrete, maybe even tiny step you could actually take this week?
This week.
Yeah, this week. Toward making just one of those dreams a little bit more real. It doesn't have to be huge. Just one small action to kick things off.
Just one small step to build that momentum. Think about it. And maybe a year from now, you'll be having your own chat about the progress you've made.
Couldn't have said it better.
Thanks so much for joining us for this deep dive.